Hi, my name is Samantha Siegel, and I'm Oceana's Field Campaigns Manager based here in beautiful South Carolina. Last weekend, I got the pleasure of attending the Gullah Geechee Seafood Festival, and we're going to learn a little bit more about this amazing culture today and what you can do to help protect it.
Well, when the children are there around here and things like that, y'all know we love for Nampan what come from the sea. So as I always say, the land that we family, the water that we bloodline. Well, that bloodline, the way we get with nourishment, the strength, and that includes what we the Nampan. So that includes the shrimp, that includes the mullet, that includes the shark, that includes all of that. And rather was the dolphin, the Nampan, what the Gullah Geechee Nampan. So they use dolphins even as sentinels of healthy waterways here on the intercoastal, throughout the Atlantic. And they have the same diet as Gullah Geechee people. So even if you love the dolphin, you should love our culture and our community. So we keep the waters healthy for them, keep them healthy for us, as we would say for we. And then that means that we will be able to sustain Gullah Geechee culture literally and figuratively for more generations to come, the same way our ancestors did on these sea islands.
As a sea island girl, I think we are born into water. I mean, you know, water is natural because you're in the womb in water. And so just all I can think about every time I even go to Hunting Island is how much further it seems that I used to have to walk to get to the water, right? Because I'm always still feeling like that little girl that wanted to run toward the ocean. Most people, their first encounter and that shock is, whoa, what is that I'm hearing? And that's the Gullah language. And our language exists because it grew up from this sand of these sea islands, from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida, and then 30 to 35 miles inland to the St. Johns River. This whole region is called the Gullah Geechee Nation. And that's because people of African and indigenous descent have been here since the 1500s, and we amalgamated numerous linguistic patterns, foodways, cultural traditions, and created what is world known now as the Gullah Geechee culture. And so when Hunter the Yeti people are cracking teeth like this, you come down here and think, then Hunter to know that in 1 week. So if you hear anybody speaking like that, you go, oh, that's a Gullah Geechee. Couldn't let our fisheries be damaged and lose our cultural tradition of fishing and crabbing and shrimping and all those things. So we fought together to stop offshore drilling, stop seismic gun testing. I often just say to people, you know, what I say about my culture is that the waterways are our bloodline and the land is our family. Our bodies consist primarily of water. So when we think of the ocean, which we call oceans, but it's the ocean, right? And there are regions of it. This is that part of the whole world that connects to you as a person. So if you care about yourself enough to take care of this vessel, then why wouldn't you care enough to take care of the vessel that you're a part of, which is the ocean? That water is valuable to all of us, even if you live inland, even if you've never lived on a sea island or coastal area before and you're watching. It's valuable to all of us because what happens here is going to have an impact where you are, especially if you love seafood. In regard to sea level rise and climate change dynamics right now, that should be a primary thing that we all need to focus on because there are a number of impacts besides ocean acidification and how these impacts are affecting cultural heritage communities and coastal communities, especially those that now people call BIPOC, you know, that are indigenous communities like the Gullah Geechee community, that we'd have been here, we in the Guayno with tall. There's a lot of what you call traditional knowledge that could be incorporated into the work that those who are professionals in the field are doing, and then those who are natives of these communities could offer. If you hadn't gotten engaged with some of these other folks who get paid to work on ocean issues, you know, there needs to be a meeting of the minds.
We're all interconnected. So the next time you eat oysters, y'all know the value of the oyster. The oyster does a job to keep us all healthy because it keeps the water quality healthy. Every time you eat some shrimp, thank God for the shrimp, they clean out things out of the water for us. The sharks do that. They all do their job. Now we got to do ours. And then we want the blue crabs to return. We want the shrimp to return. That brother said, I don't want to catch no little bit of shrimp. I want to catch a lot. I heard you, man. I heard you. All right? So definitely, you want it, but is God going to give it to us?
Well, the South Atlantic Marsh Initiative was something that was a glove fit for us here in the Gullah Geechee Nation. As you know, we live off of the sea, we live off of the land. And so one of the things that we understand protects the land, helps to stop the erosion, is to keep the marsh healthy. We get our seafood from there, we get the oysters from there, we get the crabs from there. Unfortunately, the crabs are less than what they are, but we were trying to replenish them. So one of the initiatives that we did was the replanting of the oyster shells. So we tell people, after you've had your oysters, don't just throw them away. Gather them together. One time we were putting them in large bags and we were planting them back along the shoreline where the marsh is. So we continue to do that, and we are already seeing some of the positive effects of it. The spartina grass is growing taller, it's growing more abundantly. We're starting to see the fiddler crabs, which you know filter in and out of that area as well. They're coming back now. There's one particular area that we did this on. They're coming back. We're seeing more of them. They're becoming more plentiful. And at the same time, instead of just putting the bags of oyster shells out, we now have a little cage setup that we have. So what we'll do is put them in a cage. We'll also line the cage with some of this, it's not the pine straw, but it's actually coconut shards that looks like this. That helps to filter the water out as well. So we'll put those in, and the tide comes up. Now the live of the oysters, the living oysters, now have something to attach to. They have the shells to attach to continue to grow. And as you know, as we've been saying all along, each oyster filters out 50 gallons of water. So now we begin to see how the shoreline, the waters are getting cleaner, the grass is growing more abundantly. We're starting to see less erosion during storms, and we just had Ian come through here, but we're seeing less of the erosion. And so the bottom line is, as long as we continue to put back what we take out, we're going to see that. And, you know, these folks have been very instrumental in helping us out and partnering with the Gullah Geechee Nation. So we want to continue to do the work. We want to continue to teach people and let them know about it. And, you know, if you want more information, go to GullahGeecheeNation.com. There's information there. Queen Quet can give you all the information. Also go to Gullah Geechee TV on YouTube, because we have videos of some of the stuff that we've been doing. And these things, of course, we do this, we videotape it so that people can see actually what we're doing.
So now after watching that, you might be wondering, what can we do to help protect this amazing, unique culture that only exists on the southeast coast? One way we can protect these are by supporting conservation laws that have been put in place to protect our coast and the people and the fish that inhabit it. One of those is the Magnuson-Stevens Act. For decades, fishing in U.S. waters was a virtual free-for-all, with U.S. and foreign fishermen competing for dwindling resources. As a result, many fisheries became severely overfished, meaning that fish were being taken out of the ocean at a rate faster than nature could replenish. This decrease in ocean abundance had ripple effects throughout the food web. To prevent more fisheries from collapsing and to protect domestic fishermen from foreign competition, Congress passed the Magnuson-Stevens Fishery Conservation and Management Act, otherwise known as the MSA, in 1976 to establish federal management of the nation's fisheries and regulate fishing activities in U.S. waters. The way it works is, regulations for each federally managed fishery are developed by one of the 8 regional fishery management councils and then approved and administered by the National Marine Fisheries Service. Fishing rules must comply with the requirements and standards of the MSA, but the regional councils have flexibility to tailor fishery management to meet the needs of local resources, economic factors, or conservation initiatives. Since passing the MSA, dozens of fisheries have completely bounced back, and some are in a state of rebuilding, allowing for long-term reliability of fish for the future. So what does this mean for the oceans? It means healthy and abundant ecosystems. What does this mean for us? It means healthy and accessible seafood on all of our tables. Here's how you can help. Tell your representative to vote for healthy, abundant oceans. Currently, members of Congress are pushing to update and strengthen the MSA. It's time to continue rebuilding and protecting the health of America's fisheries through this vital forward-looking legislation, the Sustaining America's Fisheries for the Future Act. Scan the code on the screen or go to the link below to send a message to your representative and help keep our oceans fishy.